What is up, everybody? It is DJ Martini Midwest Reviews and Tutorials coming at you with another video. Today we're going to be talking about that Vizio Quantum 4K Smart TV model M65Q6-L4. This is a really cool review. We'll talk about a lot of features. We'll talk about why the price is good for what you get, and also some features that you should probably turn on or off, and talk about all the things you want to know about this TV. Hopefully it will be in this video. If not, leave a question in the comments. All right, other than that, let's go ahead, jump right in by just saying, I love doing reviews. I'm just here to help. And if this is helpful in any way, please give me a like, subscribe, or share. Follow the channel, and hopefully you'll see some more tech down the road that you might be super interested in. If this one's not for you, then I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you guys again. Please like, subscribe, share. All the links will be in the description if you want to check it out. But other than that, let's go ahead and start with what is in the box. In the box, of course, very, very simple. This is an unboxing today, but I will say, since it's a TV, the legs for the TV are in there, some screws for the legs, a remote control, very, very small, two AA batteries for the remote, and the instruction book is the only thing in the box along with the TV. So other than that, really, really easy on what's in the box. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the details about the TV so we can get all those stats and specs out of the way. And first thing you see is the Vizio Quantum 4K Smart TV. Pretty much tells you a lot right there in the comment. But a lot of people are like, Quantum, is that just a bunch of TV jargon? Well, actually it's not. It's super surprising that quantum dot technology is actually tiny nanocrystals that are in the LED display that help produce vibrant colors. And so with those nanocrystals in there, and this being a 10-bit panel, you can actually get up to 1 billion different colors that are available and can be seen, probably not all at one time, but like it can go through all those colors very, very well. And so normally on older TVs, they had 8-bit panels, which only had about 16.7 million, which is still a ton, colors. But now there are even more crazy colors to make everything just look a little bit more vibrant. So that quantum is something cool about this TV. Once again, it's 4K, which we won't get into resolution, but one of the better resolutions that you can get out there besides 8K, but that's not even really around right now. So, and then it's also a smart TV, so it will be internet driven. You can watch all your favorite apps, and everything is there in the app store for Vizio in their home store there. So very, very cool. It tells you a lot in itself. This is a 65-inch model, but they do make a few different models out there. It's a dual Wi-Fi band, Wi-Fi 6 band. And so that came out in 2019. It's a little older, but still good. There's still TVs out there running Wi-Fi 6, and only your probably 25 or 2026 models are really pushing Wi-Fi 7, which is the newest Wi-Fi that's available, but Wi-Fi 6, still good, still good. All right, let's talk about gaming for this TV. People are gonna ask me how it is for gaming. For a budget TV, and I said budget TV, it is pretty good. It offers 10 milliseconds at 60 hertz in the middle of the screen, and offers some other premium qualities like FreeSync Premium, which offers better performance with your PS5 or your Xbox Series XS. Also offers VRR, which has to do with variable refresh rate. And so all those together does help reduce tears and stutter that you might experience during gaming or watching TV with a lot of movement like sports. And so it can help with some of that, making things a little smoother. Now, motion in it isn't fantastic, but it is pretty decent, and there are some adjustments that can help with it in the settings. So pretty cool there. Now, the speakers are bright, and they definitely can hear the voice and everything that you need to hear. You can turn it up pretty loud, so they're pretty decent, but some people might want a little bit more crispness or a little bit more low end, and so a sound bar probably would be recommended if you really want to get some cool sound out of this TV. It does have eARC, which is made for soundbars. Basically on HDMI port 1, you can send that stereo signal to your soundbar or to your receiver and get really good sound from that eARC. If you don't have a soundbar or anything, then the eARC really doesn't offer you anything other than just being a sound quality thing that you can use for the soundbar or the receiver. So it doesn't offer anything else special besides that. So go ahead and use it for your soundbar or receiver, or just use it as a regular input along with inputs 2 and 3. Like I said, they don't do anything different. They're all the same USB standard. All right, everybody, we're back. Let's go ahead and show that remote real quick. And we can see the Vizio remote. You can see that you do have back, power, menu, watch free plus, quick select. You have your microphone, a favorite button, menu, input, volume, mute, Disney, Netflix, Prime Video, Paramount Plus, iHeartRadio, and Xumu Play quick buttons as well. You do have a two AAA batteries. If I said AA earlier, I apologize, but AAA. And let's go ahead and fire this TV on, see how it's working there. So that is your remote. Very, very cool. All right, you see that we have all the main apps. You see that it's showing you some popular TV at the top, shows little like videos in the background. I don't want to show them. I don't want to get copyright, so we won't show that. But yes, it has tons of things going on, and you know, I think it looks pretty good. Now, I will notice that it's not edge lit, so there's no light shooting that way or light shooting that way. You can just see that the whole thing is pulsating because there's all kinds of LEDs all underneath the whole TV. So very, very cool there, in my opinion. I think it makes it, gives it a nice little IPS screen and gives you all the colors that you need too with that quantum technology. It does have all the apps, like I said, you need with, you know, Discovery, Pluto, Paramount, Netflix, Prime Video, ESPN, HBO, you know, it has all the apps that you need, so no problem. But I want to go over to the edge over here, and we're going to show you what those apps are. And I'm going to zoom out and then zoom back in. And now I can kind of show you those side apps. You have search, home, live, go back there. You have browse, sports, apps, my hub, AirPlay, your settings, and your extras. Let's go ahead and hit extras just to show you. You have where to find your account, your Vizio mobile app account as well, smart home settings, Google Cast, homepage settings, notifications, set up your Vizio voice or any other personalization that you want to do with this TV. You can do that in this part of the in the extras. So just something to let you know on that. And then in your settings, we're going to show this really quick. You have a little bit of information there, including your Wi-Fi, the time, date, your all settings here, your picture calibrations or picture modes. There's only like 4 of them: dark calibrated, sports, bright, and calibrated. And that's all you have for those. There's where you can pair headphones. It's really easy. You'll just click on it, enable Bluetooth on your headphones, and find it back on the TV. You have captions on and off. You have a sleep timer. Gaming is really cool. So if you go to gaming, it'll show you a lot of information. It'll show you if the gaming mode's on and off, your HDMI settings, Vizio home input, where you're at, so what input you'll be in, resolution, frame rate, HDR if it's on or off, variable refresh rate if it's on or off, and your audio that you're getting. And that'll all pop up when you fire up a PlayStation or Xbox. So you'll get a lot of information in that little mode. And then accessibility, help, and your all settings. So let's go ahead and hit the all settings. Let's talk about your picture settings. So let's go to picture settings, and then you have your same calibrated dark, sports, and bright. And then, but you do have a couple extra options here that you can mess with, and everybody's gonna be different. Everybody likes to see TV different, or likes different hues, likes things warm or cold, or all kinds of things. So this is gonna be different for everybody, but at least I can show you how to kind of get there. And I think a couple things that you do need to take a look at is the color enhancer, which is right here. You can change the way it enhances the color. So that's something you want to take a look at yourself. I don't have it on. I usually do have the super resolution on, which changes a few things, and I usually have it on low or medium. A lot of people say to turn these off. It does help the signal noise block noise, I turn those off. And edge enhancement, it can help basically on certain low resolution shows, maybe YouTube or certain things. If the edges are all weird and fuzzy, it might clear them up a little bit with the edge enhancement. But I usually don't turn that on. If not, I have it on low or medium. But really, most of the time I have it off. Motion control is another thing you should definitely take a look at. I have it on clear action. I do like it on, which will just help make fast scenes look a little bit better, reduce some blur and those types of things. That's your picture mode edit, but advanced picture also has some really cool things. Film mode, I always leave it on. I really like it the way things look with film mode on. It kind of darkens things a little bit. Active pixel tuning, I usually turn that to low or medium, and then it off if I'm watching something really bright, like maybe a football game or something like that. But on, I like global dimming if I'm watching like something super dark, like a Batman movie or something that I know that the show's super dark and it's going to have a lot of dark images or places where you're in the dark. And so instead of my screen looking a little bit gray like it does, it might darken it up a little bit. See, it kind of darkens it up a little bit. It's flashing a little bit, but that's what it's doing with my camera. But in real life, when I'm facing the TV, it's actually darkening the picture a little bit. So I watched Batman Returns with that and was messing with all those, and it definitely does enhance the picture when you're watching a dark movie like that. So very good option. So something you need to do with your physical eye and check it out with those features. Audio, of course, we want to go to TV speakers. You have surround sound. Now, the only thing I want to talk about surround sound is I usually just have it on, but there is a Virtual X, which is basically like almost a virtualized, it is what it is, and it highlights sounds that it thinks should be highlighted in shows. I don't really like it, but that's up to everybody. I like just surround sound on. So that's what I do. Another thing you want to take a quick look at is clear dialogue. I have it on medium, but there's low, off, or high. We all had the shows where the background is louder than the voices sometimes, and you really want to hear what they're saying. So this is one way to clear that up, and a lot of people enjoy that. Auto leveling, same thing, kind of helps with some of the dynamic range compression, levels things, the volumes, and different kind of shows and things like that. So I sometimes have it on. It is on right now, but it's kind of up to you. Like I said, that's going to be everybody's preferences. Notice I do have the bass turned up a little bit. Like I said, this TV is a little bit high for high notes and medium range notes, and so I have that at everything else at 0. But I have the bass turned up just a little bit to put just if I'm using the regular TV speakers, it enhances it just a little bit. But I usually do have a receiver that I'm using for movies and other things. The gaming part again is, of course, your gaming, and it'll take you to that page that we talked about. You have your network settings, Bluetooth and remote. You can look at a couple things. Your voice remote, set that up. Game controls, things, reconnect things. Headphones, you can reconnect or manage headphones in there. Antenna connections, so if you hook up an antenna to this TV, you will be able to pick up your local stations, and it does have an antenna hookup. Accessibility, which will have some text-to-speech things like that, zoom modes, talkback, and display type items like that. Your system, English, where the TV is, input lists, you can, like actually manage and like label everything correctly to what it is. The support page, of course, checking for updates. If you want to check for updates, you want to reset the TV, test the speakers for the TV, things like that, all there. And then of course, there are privacy and legal for those types of things. So those are pretty much all the menu things and all the buttons that you want to look into. All right, other than that, let's go ahead and kind of just show you one little thing on some of those settings before I let you go. All right, everybody, so we have the TV on now. I want to just show you how the microphone works here, and then also how the TV looks pretty good with, various things. Only thing I'll be able to show you is some YouTube, because I can show my own channel. So I'll show you that, but we'll use the microphone and say YouTube. And it's automatically going to take me to YouTube. Now that shows it really like gray, but in real life it doesn't, it's not that washed out, but I think it actually looks pretty good. So we're on YouTube now. We can go up to the top and we can go to my channel here, and I could actually talk it into the microphone as well if I wanted to, but since I already have it pre-checked there. So here's my channel. You can see the colors on the TV. Everything's looking pretty good on camera, and we can go to, you know, just one of my live Twitch streams here, check it out, and you can see the color in action. How responsive it is too. It's pretty quick, so I do like that about it. You know, I can go back and back, we're back there. We can go to another one, and boom, it's pretty quick and responsive with the Wi-Fi 6 that it does have. And you can see that bright, vibrant color shirt there. You can see the colors in my logo as well, looking pretty good. And so you can see my nice gray hairs as well. So everything's looking good, and you can see, let's go ahead and get a little volume, and I'll use the mic for this one. I'll say, go to volume 15. Oh, because it's on mute, my bad.
West every Tuesday and Thursday on the Twitch app. I will leave a link in the description so you can go directly to the feed. If you own an amp.
It wasn't working because the TV was muted, but it will do that if you use the mic, and so you can probably tell it to mute too.
Email and a password.
Mute.
That's it. That's all that.
Yeah, see. So I needed to say unmute instead. Unmute.
Now, I know it sounds R&B.
All right, so we can hear the volume. That's 15.
I do urban, soul, hip-hop, a little bit of pop. I play a zinger rock song usually at the end of the show.
You can use that.
I just love playing.
To kind of go through the video, and then when you're there, you can hit it.
Almost doing this 90% of my time.
We can click through that all the way, and then we can hit go. And all right, so you can see that it is pretty responsive. The sound doesn't sound too bad on it. And like I said, there's a lot of extra features that you can look at. So, all right, one last little thing that I want to show you is I turned the PS5 on, and I kind of want to show you, so let me darken this out a little bit. I wanted to show you the screen back here and go to the menu again and show you that we can go to finally down to the gaming setting down here again. And I showed you this information earlier, but now it actually has information. So it shows me I'm on my PlayStation. It shows I have 1080p resolution right now at 60 Hertz. It also says I don't have HDR on or variable refresh rate, and I'm on auto PCM. So it does give you those specs and stats, which is cool. And just to let you know that if you have the gaming or PC mode on, it automatically changes those for you. So depending on the game or depending on what you're playing, it will switch some of the HDR or the variable refresh rate. It'll turn those on or off for you depending on what you're doing. So I like the automatic adjustments it makes for you to give you the best gaming opportunity and look. So very, very cool. All right, so let's talk pros and cons for the Vizio Quantum 4K Smart TV, the 65-inch that I have behind me. And the first one that you have to start off with was the price point of $300 at Walmart. I think I got it for $298, and wow, what a fantastic price for a 65-inch TV that has so many extra features to be able to dial in the way you want to see it. So I think that's just the ultimate plus for it is the price point. So for what you're getting in the value, very, very cool. Also, I'm really surprised on how decent this is for gaming. I'm not saying it's competitive or anything like that. I'm saying it's decent. So if you're a casual gamer and you want a decent looking TV with great colors, lots of colors, decent depth and motion, this isn't bad. Like I played Need for Speed and it looked fantastic on it. And the motion looked on pretty good on it as well. Like I said, it's just really, really decent. And it actually surprised me for what it is for the price point as well. Bright enough for a daytime room, but the darks are good enough for a dark room as well, as long as you do those adjustments that I did say to be able to adjust it to get a little darker for you. But very, very cool. For the price, 65-inch, once again, we go there. And I do like all the features that I showed you, which are all pluses as well. Some of the cons I will get to, and this could be a pro or a con, but they do offer that 120 Hertz accepted signal, which will basically turn it into 2 frames, blend them together a little bit. So it will kind of accept this 120 signal, which is a little bit of a marketing ploy, but it's actually a 60 hertz panel. So it's an IPS 60 hertz panel, but it does look pretty good for it. And that's a negative, that it's not a true 120 hertz panel. Weak contrast. So I did talk about those blacks and grays and how sometimes they look a little washed, a little gray. And you kind of saw that on the YouTube switch, but it wasn't as gray as it looked. That's just my camera, but pretty good. And I like that you can do some of that adjustment too that we talked about, which I'll talk about again in a second here. The HDR doesn't quite pop. You don't really notice a big difference. It's a lower brightness TV at 400 to 500 nits, but definitely looks good in my opinion. The SmartCast interface, depending on your internet, can be a little laggy, a little bit laggy depending on where you have the TV, but so far mine has been really good and pretty snappy actually. And then once again, the sound bar or the sound, that's going to be up to everybody. Bright, and it can get loud, but it's bright, and so it doesn't have a lot of low end to it. And so I could see why people for the home theater type things want a little bit more low end and might say that you need a sound bar absolutely for this. But for your casual TV watcher, I don't think you're going to mind the speakers on this. I will say that it does have 3 HDMIs. I will show a picture of the back of it, which has some decent ones, including antenna hookup, so you can watch your local channels. And it does have an eARC connection on HDMI 1. And what that does, like I said, is it sends out a stereo signal for you to be able to hook up to a stereo receiver or a soundbar. So you might lose one doing that, but you still have 2 extras to be able to hook up other things, or you can just use that as a regular HDMI as well. So just want to say that there's only one that has the eARC stereo signal out for it. Also, once again, the top things that you want to look for or adjust on this TV is that motion, the clear action. It will reduce some of those things for you. Make sure the film mode is on, which I think the picture modes, calibrated, dark, bright, and sports. Pick one that you like the most. And then a lot of people say to turn off the smart picture, the noise reduction. And a lot of say if you have like a lot of things turned on, including the, except for the game mode, but of some of the other picture settings, it could affect gaming lag as well. So this is something to think about. Other than that, yeah, I do like some of those extra features, but I just wanted to kind of tell you what to look for, what settings that you need to turn on, and what can make this thing look a little bit better for you, even though it's a $300 TV that still looks pretty good in my opinion. That's all I have for you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been DJ Martini Midwest Reviews and Tutorials. If you have any more comments or details that you want to talk about, leave them in the comments. If this was helpful in any way, once again, give me a like, subscribe, share, and just remember, I love doing reviews. I love talking about tech, and hopefully this was helpful and interesting for you. Other than that, that's all I got. We'll see you later, but hopefully see you soon on the next one.